It's 5:51 in the morning. The sun is beginning to rise. I just think it looks so beautiful out right now. It's got like this tint of pink everywhere. You can see it's just beautiful. Hey guys, and welcome back to Green Scene South Coast. And today I'm just gonna be basically going over all the new things that we've planted since the last video I posted, which was the flower tour, all of the flowers and the flower beds. I'm just gonna add on some new plants to those flower beds that we have put in the ground just recently. We didn't know we were gonna get them until after I posted the video. I would have waited if I had known, but we didn't, so that's why I'm adding it into this video. And then I'm going to go over my garden thoughts with you guys. I said I was going to do that. The garden's looking pretty horrible. Because of the groundhogs, I decided not to start a fall garden this year. I will definitely do it next year, but a lot of the stuff that I had planned to put in there were leafy greens. And between the groundhogs and the baby bunnies all over the place and the fencing not exactly being 100% groundhog and critter proof. So because of that, I think I'm going to do it next year instead. I might start some things and hopefully have like some versions of lettuce that are maybe more microgreens than actual lettuce heads, but I don't have long in my gardening season. We have a very short season. It starts around mid-April and ends around mid-October. So it's not the longest growing season. It's not the shortest, but it's definitely not the longest. We are in a cold climate. This is 6B, Massachusetts, so we do get winters here. And the frost usually starts, like I said, around mid-October. So I am gearing up for fall. Fall is my favorite time of year. So I will definitely be showing you a lot of things around this time just because I'm so excited. Without further ado, I'll show you the garden. So it's really early on Saturday morning. It's the very end of August, and I'm sitting in a garden that's half producing. I started a couple things just to see if round 2 in the fall would do better. We've had a lot of critters, like I said, in the garden, mostly groundhogs. In the beginning, it was baby bunnies getting in through a small part of the fence. But since we have put a little area towards the bottom of the fence with another portion of fencing aligned just so that there wasn't any space for the critter or small rabbit to get through. Since we did that, that's been working pretty well. Let's see, an expectation versus reality that's bad would probably be our tomatoes. Our tomatoes didn't do very well this year. I'll show you them. Like you can see right now, they're just not doing very well. It's the end of the season. They weren't pruned very well. It just wasn't a great year for tomatoes for us. There was a lot of bugs. And the tomatoes that we grew, honestly, I just didn't like the taste, and neither did Jeremy, so I think I might seed swap those seeds. Maybe somebody else will like them. I hate to get rid of or throw anything out, so I will definitely find a new home for those seeds next year. Maybe my dad, I think he got the Black Prince by M.I. Gardner, and I think he liked that one, so maybe I'll go ahead and give him some seeds. But for us, it was Black Seaman and Black Prince that we grew for slicer tomatoes. For canning tomatoes, which I'll get on that in a second, but for the canning tomatoes we chose Roma, and I am going to make sauce. However, the sauce issue is it's a little more complicated than I kind of thought it was, so I'm working out more of the details. But on the bright side, I did make pickles for the first time yesterday. I made 2 quarts of pickles, which is only 2 jars. But I had about 13 cucumbers and I made some pickles out of them. So that's cool. Hopefully that comes out okay. It probably won't because it's my first time, but there's a first time for everything. There's actually a hummingbird I'm looking at right now on the zinnias, and he is, or she is, on some of the, the tomatillas. So pretty being out here. I love watching the pollinators and the hummingbirds, bees, and butterflies. It's really awesome. I love being outside. So the garden, so there's romas all over the place. They're kind of exploding and they're on their last legs. So we've been harvesting all of the romas and we've been very pleased with those. Like I said, the rest of the tomatoes didn't really do well. The tomatillas I was really disappointed in. I don't know if I'm doing it right. I don't really know what happened there, but I'm not really producing the delicious pineapple tomatillas that I've been hearing so much about, but I will definitely keep trying. I'm not going to be discouraged from growing them next year at all. Something that's doing well again is the Casper eggplant. I'll be getting ready to make eggplant parmesan with that soon. We just used some of the red potatoes that we harvested and the red onion for a shepherd's pie. That was pretty good. The little mini bell peppers, we've been stuffing those, and the jalapenos, the black Hungarian jalapenos, which we will grow next year as well from Baker's Creek. I'm sorry, Baker Creek. I don't think it's Baker's Creek, it's just Baker Creek. But the black Hungarian jalapeno from Baker Creek will definitely be a grow again next year. I will probably grow the Casper eggplant next year too, or maybe a different variety of eggplant, but definitely eggplant will be in the garden next year. More potatoes, more onion, less tomatoes, less cucumbers, more like green bell peppers. We did have seeds of those. It was my fault. I got Dollar Tree seeds and there wasn't many in a packet, so I did not get any mini bell peppers. I figured any green peppers, but I did get the mini bells. That was the only pepper as far as green pepper goes, or any kind of bell pepper that's not mini version, I didn't have. Just had the minis, and they were okay. I can't say I'm crazy about them because like you can't really do anything with them. I feel like they're mostly seeds, but if you've never grown them, I recommend you try it just because they are really cool to grow. Something that didn't grow very well was the morning glory and the moonflower vine. I see no flowers on them. I have not seen one. I see something starting to do I see one starting to do something, but it's not really doing much. So yeah, the morning glory and the moonflower vine, not really doing much for me, unfortunately. The yellow pear tomatoes are a mess. They were a good producer though. I definitely got a lot of tomatoes off of that plant, but right now it's just everything is looking really not so great. The last tour I gave you, everything was looking really good and green and growing and like fruitful, and now everything's kind of dying off. So I'll give you a look at everything like I said I was going to throughout this whole tour. But yeah, I did start Brussels sprouts again. They were one of the things that I started round 2. And the bugs, if it's not the groundhogs, it's caterpillars and bugs just eating it. So that was one of the things that was really hard for me. Things are like buzzing around my head. That was one of the things that was really hard for me to grow this year. Anything leafy just got devoured. Hence why, like I said, I'm not doing the fall garden, because everything leafy I was intending to grow out here just got eaten. So not that I'm discouraged from doing a fall garden. I did start the Brussels sprouts round 2 intended for fall purposes, but like I said, even round 2 is just not doing good because of the bugs. But I don't want to treat with any harmful pesticides. I don't really want to do pesticides at all if I can help it, but maybe that's something I have to do next year if I want Brussels sprouts. I'll have to look into an all organic resource or some kind of not chemical, but something that I can put on them so that they don't attract caterpillars, or I can plant something that maybe the caterpillars like more, and then they'll gravitate towards that crop instead of the crop that I want to grow. And I don't mind doing that sort of thing in the garden, giving space to something that I'm not intending on eating, just so that the critters have something to be deterred and occupied, and they eat that rather than what I'm trying to grow and eat and use. But what else? So as far as things that have already been harvested and eaten, and you won't see in the garden because they're all done, is the red potatoes and the onion, which I think I said earlier, we actually used that in a shepherd's pie. The red potato and the onion were both used. And I used some rosemary that we grew as well, and some fresh herbs from, I have flower pots on the deck and flower pots on the windowsill in the kitchen, so I definitely have herbs that I can use for cooking, and I use them all the time. Hummingbirds galore. I wonder if I can actually show you that one. He moves quite a bit. I don't think I can grab the camera in time, but I've seen lots of hummingbirds since being out in the garden just filming this. We really didn't have a lot of hummingbirds. Last year we had a lot more. That was another, I don't think it's a gardening expectation, not so much in the garden anyway, but it was an expectation of mine to have more hummingbirds like last year. But for whatever reason, there's hummingbirds. There's definitely quite a bit of hummingbirds, but last year I feel like there was a lot more. So that was something. A lot of the flower pots I thought were going to do better, and they didn't. But yeah, less tomatoes, less cucumbers for sure. Maybe more onion and more potatoes. There he is again. He's going after the zinnias. And I must say, those zinnias are like one of my favorite flowers to grow ever. I'm going to try to get him for you guys. He's flying off right now. But I can still see him buzzing around. Oh, a bird just literally flew over my head. So the hummingbird is loving on these zinnias over here while I'm filming. He's been over there quite a few times. That's not doing very well either. I'm probably gonna cut that back. That's the cucumbers. I'm gonna rip these plants out, and I'll probably leave the last 2 or 3. These are the green beans, the dragon tongue green beans from Baker Creek. Love them. I'm going to continue to grow these every year. I am going to let them go to seed. They're still producing, but very little. It's a spinach I got to rip out. Nothing in this row. There are some Brussels sprouts that I started. These were the second round of Brussels sprouts, like I said. I did start those. Ripped out all of the red onion. This here is the Casper eggplant. It's kind of gone crazy, but you can totally see the eggplants everywhere. There's eggplant all over this thing. There's one down there. I gotta grab that. Probably, if not today, tomorrow, or the next day or so. There's the carrots here. Honestly, was not impressed with these carrots either. I believe that was also M.I. Gardener. These were Baker Creek mini bell peppers. They're cute, like I said, they're really cute. You should probably try to grow them if you've never grown them before, just because they're awesome looking. But I like bell peppers regular than mini bell peppers. These are the black Hungarian jalapenos. And these will be grown again next year, for sure. These are the Romas. A slug on one. Hello, Mr. Slug. Goodbye, Sluggy Slug. Yeah, so these were the Romas. Beautiful, aren't they? Yellow pear tomatoes. feel horrible for the Brussels sprouts this year. They did not do well. And these are the tomatoes. Just bought a few more plants to put in the ground in this flower bed. I bought these coneflowers. It's a mix of coneflowers. I believe there's 3 different varieties in there. Because this area is so empty, we're going to put these garas here, and then I am obsessed. I cannot believe I found this as fast as we found it. I've seen it in people's landscaping, and I'm like, Jeremy, I think that's a perennial. And he's like, no, it's probably just an annual. It's a perennial. Came home with me, 20 bucks. I want like 10 more. So beautiful. Look at that bloom. Look how huge that is. Like, that's my hand. Large blooms, beautiful flowers. So excited about this. It is very early right now in the morning. This is like my favorite time. If somebody would have told me that I would be up at like 5:30 in the morning every day, even on Saturday mornings, and I would love it, I would tell you you're freaking crazy. But honestly, it's quiet. No one but me and Winnie are up, and it's beautiful, and it's just peaceful. And I do a lot of thinking out here on the deck in the morning before the noise sets in. Not that it's extremely noisy around here, but we have a lot of planes and neighbors and all that, and it's really nice. I really enjoy it. Alright guys, thanks for walking the garden with me this morning, and thanks for watching, you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already.